Despite a career filled with recognition and admiration, Ken Curtis's life took a tragic turn after a seemingly ordinary event. Known widely for his role as Festus on Gunsmoke and his heartfelt singing in country and Western music, Curtis's personal life was often private. One day, an unanticipated situation arose that altered everything. It happened so suddenly that it caught even his closest friends off guard. The event, which appeared insignificant at first, quickly escalated, leading to unforeseen consequences that changed his life forever. As the days progressed, the full extent of what transpired became clearer, revealing a series of decisions and moments that no one could predict. The incident, shrouded in mystery and shock, ultimately became the catalyst for a heartbreaking outcome that no one expected. Curtis, who had brought so much joy and entertainment to others, faced a difficult and unexpected end that left many stunned and sorrowful. The story unfolds with raw honesty, peeling back the layers of a man loved by many, and revealing the tragic truth behind what led to his untimely demise. In the beginning, Ken Curtis came into the world as Curtis Wayne Gates on July 2, 1916, growing up in the wild and tough lands of southeastern Colorado. From a young age, he learned about life through hard work and strong morals that his family taught him every day. These lessons built a tough spirit in him that stayed with him all his life. His father stepped into a big role when he became the sheriff of Bent County, which changed everything for the family. They moved into the basement of the local jailhouse, a place built of stone and steel that echoed with the sounds of locks and keys. Living there was not like most homes. It was a mix of everyday family life and the serious business of justice. Young Curtis saw people from all walks of life, some locked in cells and others walking free, and this gave him a real look at discipline and respect for the law. Over time, these experiences shaped how he saw the world, making him a man who could stay steady in tough times. The basement of the jail became like a school for him, teaching him about right and wrong in ways no classroom ever could. He watched his father handle problems with fairness, even when things got hard, and this showed him the value of integrity. Curtis learned that life was full of challenges, but with grit and honesty, you could face them head on. These early days built his strong character, the kind that shines through in his work as an actor. He grew up understanding that true strength comes from inside, not just from muscles or money. The jailhouse life taught him to listen to people, to see beyond their actions and into their hearts. This skill helped him play roles that felt real and deep, connecting with audiences who felt the same struggles he knew from his youth. His childhood was unique, blending the ordinary with the extraordinary, and it planted seeds of kindness and resolve that lasted. In the dry winds of Colorado, amid the echoes of bars and locks, Curtis built a foundation of values that guided him through life's paths, always reminding him that hard work and moral discipline were the keys to a good life. Such beginnings crafted a legacy anchored in resilience, where every step forward came from the lessons etched into those basement walls. As he matured, the impact of those early exposures remained vivid, influencing his grounded way of living and creating a bridge between his past experiences and the characters he portrayed on screen. The influence extended to his relationships, fostering a dependable nature that friends and family cherished. Beyond the jail's confines, the land itself added to his upbringing, with wide skies and vast terrains teaching him about freedom and limits. Yet, the core remained in family unity and ethical living, shaped by the sheriff's role and the community's trust. This blend of environments enriched Curtis's perspective, allowing him to empathize deeply with diverse people. His stories from those days echoed through conversations, revealing a man who valued simplicity and truth above all. Living near justice taught him about fairness, and it showed in every part of his later career. The discipline learned there became a guiding star, helping him navigate fame with humility. Southeastern Colorado's rugged beauty, coupled with the jail's strict routine, created a balanced upbringing. He developed a respectful attitude toward authority, balanced by a compassionate heart for the vulnerable. These traits evolved naturally from his formative years, building a persona that was both strong and approachable. The family dynamics in such a setting emphasized teamwork and perseverance, skills that carried into every endeavor. Curtis's early life was a tapestry of hardship and learning, where each thread of experience wove into a masterpiece of character. His father's sheriff days illustrated leadership through service, imparting lessons that resonated deeply. The basement became a sanctuary of sorts, where virtues were nurtured amidst life's harsher lessons. This environment fostered a sense of duty and heart, characteristics that defined his public image later on. During his teenage years, Ken blended creativity with athleticism in ways that set him apart from his peers. As the team's quarterback on the football field, he demonstrated strong leadership and strategic thinking, guiding plays with precision and enthusiasm. Off the field, his talents extended to the school band, where he excelled as a clarinetist, filling the air with melodies that showcased his musical passion. This combination of sports and arts highlighted his disciplined nature and instinctive charm, fostering connections with classmates through shared goals and performances. Whether celebrating a touchdown or performing in a concert, he brought energy and adaptability that foreshadowed his future roles in entertainment. His ability to switch between physical teamwork and artistic expression prepared him to captivate audiences in diverse settings, from stage plays to screen appearances, making his youthful experiences a foundation for a versatile career path that spanned many decades. This early balance also nurtured his skill in engaging people, turning every interaction into an opportunity to shine, whether through the thrill of competition or the harmony of notes reverberating through the auditorium. In school, he wasn't merely participating, he was shaping the environment, inspiring others with his dual focus that blended determination on the gridiron with the expressive freedom of music, ensuring his presence was unforgettable and his impact lasting. During his early years, Ken Curtis, like many young people from his era, felt a strong sense of duty when World War II began, and he stepped forward to serve his country in the United States Army. He joined the Army in 1943 and stayed until 1945, giving his all during those challenging times. This period of military service taught him valuable lessons about discipline and hard work, making him even more focused and dedicated than before. It was a time when he learned to commit fully to whatever task was at hand, and this experience shaped him for the rest of his life in ways he could not have imagined at the start. Before the war broke out, Curtis had already started college, dreaming of becoming a doctor. He chose this path because he cared deeply about helping others, wanting to use his skills to make a difference in people's lives by healing them when they were sick or hurt. This early choice showed how much he valued service to his community and the world around him. But then the war changed everything for him, pushing him into a new reality where his college dreams had to be set aside for a while. Once the war ended and he returned home, he began to think differently about his future. During those post-war months, he discovered something new and powerful inside himself, a deep, unshakable love for music that had been growing quietly even as he served. At first, this love might have seemed small, but it quickly became a big force in his life, pulling him away from his original plans. Instead of going back to college to study medicine, Curtis decided to walk away from those medical dreams completely. He knew in his heart that he could not keep ignoring this passion for music that filled him with joy. So, he made a big change, turning his back on the idea of being a doctor and stepping into the world of entertainment instead. This was not just a simple job switch, it was a major turning point that opened up a whole new chapter for him. From that moment on, he saw his life as a mission to share happiness and stories with people everywhere, using his voice and performances to connect with audiences in ways that brought smiles and warmth. His work in this new field became more than just a way to earn a living. It turned into a lifelong journey where he aimed to touch hearts and brighten days through the power of music and storytelling. Every song he sang or role he played carried that sense of purpose, echoing the dedication he had built during his military days and the care for others he had shown in his early wishes to help as a doctor. Back in the early days, Ken Curtis stepped into the world of music with a bold move that changed his path forever. His big break arrived in 1941, right when he joined the famous Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. Imagine the pressure, taking over as the lead vocalist after none other than Frank Sinatra, whose fame was already huge. Yet Curtis did not back down. With his smooth and soulful voice, he filled those big shoes and captured hearts in no time. That daring step thrust him into the national spotlight, where crowds and critics alike took notice of his talent. From there, his career gained real momentum. He performed with the lively Sheffield Orchestra, bringing his unique sound to lively audiences across the country. But that was just the start. Curtis also landed regular spots on the WDV Jamboree, a beloved radio show full of country music that reached listeners far and wide. Those radio appearances let him share his songs with thousands, building a steady fan base week after week. Each performance was like a stepping stone, helping him grow stronger on stage. Those early years were truly vital for Curtis. They gave him the chance to build up his confidence, facing bigger crowds and tougher songs without fear. He worked hard to refine his vocal style, blending power with deep feeling in every note he sang. Listeners felt the emotion in his voice, which made him stand out right away. Through it all, he started making important connections in the entertainment world, meeting band leaders, producers, and fellow artists who opened doors he never dreamed of. As he sang those heartfelt tunes, Curtis's powerful voice left a lasting mark. It connected him to people in a real way, proving he belonged in this fast-paced business. The stages and studios became his training ground, where he learned the ropes of show business. Every gig with Dorsey or Fields, every broadcast on the Jamboree, added to his skills and reputation. His soulful delivery turned simple songs into something special, drawing praise and paving the way for more opportunities. In those formative times, Curtis's talent shone through challenges. He turned the spotlight into his ally, using his voice to tell stories that resonated. The networks he built during radio shows and orchestra tours would prove invaluable later. His journey from newcomer to recognized singer showed grit and gift, setting a solid base for his rising star. And as he kept performing, that foundation grew stronger, carrying him forward into new adventures in music and beyond. Beginning in 1949, Ken Curtis embarked on an exciting phase of his career, joining the Sons of the Pioneers as their lead singer. This group was well known for its Western music, and Curtis brought a unique warmth to their performances that delighted fans everywhere. Over the next 3 years, until 1952, he helped create music that touched many hearts, especially with tunes like "Ah Room," "Full of Roses," a song filled with heartfelt lyrics about love and beauty. Another hit was "Riders in the Sky," a thrilling story of cowboys chasing ghostly riders across the open range, which became a classic in American folk music. The group's strong harmonies and tales of adventure in their songs connected deeply with listeners from coast to coast, and Curtis's rich baritone voice was often the star of the show, making his delivery stand out in every performance. These popular tracks not only boosted the Sons of the Pioneers' popularity, but also put Curtis in the spotlight on a national level. People everywhere hummed these melodies, and his name became linked with the group's success in spreading Western sounds far and wide. Moreover, this musical rise opened doors to new opportunities in Hollywood, where his talent for singing fit perfectly with acting roles. Before long, Curtis was moving from being a musician to appearing in films as a singing cowboy, roles that showcased his deep voice and charm. Those early movies introduced him to more substantial parts, as directors saw his ability to blend his vocal skills with on-screen presence. This period marked a bright time for him, where his background in music naturally led to acting, and he thrived in that blend of talents. Transitioning from his musical background into the world of film, Ken Curtis found a perfect role as the singing cowboy, starting with Columbia Pictures in 1945. He starred in many musical westerns, using his strong baritone voice and relaxed charm in parts that seemed made just for him. These early films did more than just introduce him. They created a group of loyal fans who loved how he mixed songs with stories. Later, his work with big directors like John Ford and actors like John Wayne boosted his fame. In movies such as Rio Grande and The Searchers, Curtis shone brightly, even in supporting or uncredited spots, thanks to his realness, appeal, and kind toughness. His bond with John Wayne grew from the screen into a lasting professional team, and true friendship that lasted many years. Overall, Curtis's path in films showed his skill at changing roles, and his deep love for westerns, which he represented better than most others in the industry. His voice carried tunes that echoed across ranches in those stories, adding depth to characters who rode for justice. The musical elements in his early work helped define a style that made westerns more fun and engaging. Collaborating with Ford allowed him to take on parts that challenged his range, proving he could handle drama as well as music. Wayne's influence helped him step into tougher roles, building on that cowboy image. Fans saw him as a reliable figure, someone who brought warmth to the Wild West. Over time, these collaborations shaped his career, turning him into a key part of some classic films. His friendship with Wayne included offset talks and shared adventures, strengthening their on-screen chemistry. In Rio Grande, his role highlighted his ability to blend humor with action. The Searchers showcased his rugged side, making him stand out in Ford's epic vision. Curtis adapted easily, moving from singing to serious acting without losing his core appeal. This flexibility kept him relevant in an evolving film world. He became known for roles that demanded both skill and heart, often playing characters who were more than just background. The green of his character names or the dust in the scenes added to his iconic status. Working under Columbia gave him early confidence, leading to bigger opportunities. By the time he joined Ford and Wayne, he was ready for the spotlight. Their projects explored themes of loyalty and frontier life, and Curtis fitted right in. His baritone added emotion to key moments, whether in song or speech. This blend of talents made him a standout performer. As years passed, his body of work grew, earning respect from peers and audiences alike. The Western genre thrived with contributions like his, keeping traditional stories alive. Curtis's legacy rests on those musical westerns that started it all, evolving into something profound. He navigated changes in Hollywood, staying true to his passion. His roles often portrayed men of the land, reflecting values of honesty and bravery. In teaming with Wayne, he became part of legendary tales. These ventures built a friendship that extended to family and beyond. Curtis brought authenticity to every scene, making viewers believe in the stories. His performances inspired future actors, showing how music and film could unite. The consistency in his approach led to repeated casting in similar themes. He embraced the challenges of Western sets, with their demanding shoots and close-knit crews. Collaborations with Ford were particularly formative, refining his craft in subtle ways. Wayne's presence anchored many of these experiences, providing guidance and camaraderie. Ultimately, Curtis's journey highlighted his dedication to the genre, influencing how Westerns were made and enjoyed. His voice became synonymous with sweeping landscapes and heroic deeds. Fans remembered him for that charm that kept them coming back. In various projects, he contributed to narratives that explored human resilience. The string of films under Columbia laid a strong foundation. From there, his path led to Ford's directorial style, with its focus on character depth. Wayne's commanding roles complemented Curtis's versatile performances. Together, they created memorable partnerships on screen. This evolution from music to film was smooth and rewarding. His adaptability shone in diverse settings, from musical numbers to intense dramas. The loyalty of his fanbase grew with each appearance. Signature roles defined his career trajectory. He embodied the essence of the singing cowboy archetype. Collaborations with giants elevated his standing in Hollywood. His friendship with Wayne enriched personal and professional life. Authenticity remained his hallmark. Rugged warmth set him apart. Passion for Westerns drove his choices. Years of work solidified his reputation. These elements combined to make him a beloved figure. Additionally, during the 1950s and 1960s, actor Ken Curtis expanded his career in film and television by taking on many different types of roles that showed off his wide range of skills. He appeared in various films and TV shows, stepping away from just singing or cowboy parts to explore new areas. For example, he made guest spots on popular programs such as Have Gun Will Travel, Perry Mason, and Ripcord. These appearances proved he could handle more than just Western stories or music projects. In Ripcord, Curtis played a skilled skydiver who guided younger, bolder characters, blending strength with wisdom and kindness. This role highlighted his ability to mix toughness, deep experience, and genuine warmth. Through these parts, he moved past the simple cowboy hat image, revealing his strong dramatic side and smooth presence on screen. Whether he acted as a sheriff, a brave explorer, or a thoughtful teacher, Curtis added real humanity to every character. This human touch made his performances memorable, even in short roles. He brought a sense of real life to his acting, making each part feel alive and true. Audiences enjoyed seeing this growth, as he showed he could connect with viewers on many levels. His work in these shows also helped him build a lasting name in Hollywood by trying out exciting and varied challenges. Overall, these efforts in television and films during those decades let Curtis shine in ways that went beyond his earlier cowboy image, creating a rich body of work that showcased his talent in new ways. Indeed, in 1967, Ken Curtis took on a role that shaped his whole career as Festus Hagen on the TV show Gunsmoke. At first, Festus showed up as just a minor part in the series, but soon fans loved him for his messy hair, wild ways, and that special way he spoke with a high-pitched voice that Ken copied from a real mountain man known as Cedar Jack. What started small grew big fast, turning Festus into one of the main folks on the program. Ken acted in 3 or 4 episodes as Festus, which was the most out of all the deputies that ever joined the show. The character came across as kind of grumpy, but lovable, always true to his friends, and surprising people with smart thoughts. Ken played him so well, with real feeling and honesty, that Festus fit right into what made Gunsmoke such a hit. Off camera, Ken made sure Festus felt real and easy to connect with, putting in lots of effort to keep the role down to earth. Even now, many years later, people still enjoy his work because it feels so true to life. This way of acting helped Gunsmoke stand out as one of the top shows ever on television, known for its strong stories and loyal characters like Festus. Indeed, Ken Curtis never let a single role define him, even at the peak of his fame on Gunsmoke. When the show took breaks during its off-seasons, he hit the road to star in live Western-themed shows all over the nation, bringing joy to fans with his blend of music, comedy, and that classic cowboy style. These events let him connect with people up close, proving his dedication to audience affection. Apart from show business, Curtis jumped into civic duties, backing Ronald Reagan's run for president in 1976, which matched his strong beliefs and made him more than just an entertainer. He also tried out new ways to perform, giving his unique voice to Disney's animated film Robin Hood in 1973, where he voiced Nutsy the Vulture, and made the character seem real and lovable despite being a cartoon. This time in his career built his image as a person with many skills, able to shine in different types of work while holding on to his love for Western themes. Even though he was a star on TV every week, Ken Curtis always found time for things that took him away from that main job. Those live shows were special because they let him mix songs with jokes and Old West stories, creating a fun night out for families and cowboy fans. He traveled far, from small towns to big cities, sharing his energy and charm, which made people feel like they knew him personally. This wasn't just work for him, it was a way to keep the spirit of the Old West alive, showing his deep love for the genre that made him famous. In politics, his support for Reagan showed his side as a man of strong opinions, not afraid to step up for what he believed in. He didn't hide his views or his willingness to help causes he cared about, even if it meant blending his fame with real-world concerns. And with Disney, splitting his time between serious acting and cartoon fun highlighted how he could swing from one style to another without losing his authentic touch. Nutsy the Vulture in Robin Hood became a hit part of his legacy, as Curtis brought warmth and humor to the role, making kids laugh while grown-ups nodded in recognition. This mix of projects during those busy years proved he was more than just a lawman on a TV set. He was a versatile star ready for any challenge, from stage shows that packed theaters to voices in films that enchanted audiences. His off-season adventures kept him busy, sometimes working weekends or holidays, but he loved it, saying it kept his life exciting and tied to his roots. Civic work, like rallying for candidates, reminded everyone he valued community and leadership, drawing from the same honesty he showed in his roles. Embracing animation showed he adapted to changes in entertainment, proving age didn't slow him down in exploring new fields. After many years in front of the camera, Ken Curtis continued to shine in the Western entertainment world, holding his place as one of its most beloved figures. During the later years of his career, he co-starred in the television series The Yellow Rose, a short-lived but memorable show that reminded audiences of his natural charm and steady presence. Even when he was not the leading man, his guest appearances kept his image alive on screens across the country. In 1981, his long commitment to Western storytelling was honored when he was inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. This award marked more than simple recognition. It was a tribute to his lifelong devotion to a style of entertainment that defined a large part of American culture. Curtis's career represented an era of rugged heroes, open landscapes, and stories that shaped how people imagined the American West. Through his later years, he carried this spirit with quiet dignity, inspiring younger actors who admired his discipline and authenticity. His fans, who had grown up watching him, continued to see in him the values of loyalty, courage, and humor that Westerns celebrated. Even as time passed, his presence evoked a feeling of nostalgia for the golden days of film and television, linking past and present through his work and his character. Ken Curtis's personal life was marked by a blend of traditional values, quiet resilience, and enduring love. He was married 3 times, but it was his final and longest marriage to Toria Hearn Connolly that defined much of his later years. Their union lasted nearly 3 decades, reflecting a strong partnership built on mutual respect and deep affection. Tori, who was highly respected in the rodeo community, shared Ken's passion for Western heritage and the lifestyle associated with it. Together, they appreciated a life away from the glare of Hollywood, focusing instead on the simpler pleasures of their shared interests. Their marriage was not without its difficulties, however. As Ken grew older, his health began to decline, and the physical and emotional toll of his long career and personal struggles took a significant toll. Despite these challenges, Tori's presence provided Ken with the support and stability he needed in his final years. Her steadfastness and devotion offered him a source of comfort as he navigated through the inevitable hardships of aging. Though Ken Curtis's personal life was largely private, it was rooted in a deep loyalty to his family, a respect for tradition, and an authenticity that mirrored the qualities for which he was admired on screen. This quiet, grounded existence away from the public eye stood in stark contrast to the larger-than-life roles he often portrayed. But it was in this space of love, loyalty, and respect that he found true peace. Ken Curtis, a man often celebrated for his work on screen, carried a burden off camera that few ever knew about. His health struggles were a constant part of his life, but he kept them largely hidden from the public eye. One of the biggest challenges he faced was a long-term addiction to smoking. Curtis began smoking as a way to manage stress, a habit that quickly grew into a daily routine. He never spoke much about it, but the smoking was more than just a minor inconvenience. It was his way of coping with the pressures of his career and personal life. What many people didn't know was that Curtis also had to contend with a serious, undiagnosed illness, cancer. The disease slowly affected his body, including his fertility, which led to emotional and physical struggles. This diagnosis was a heavy weight to carry, and it eventually led to the painful realization that he and his wife would never be able to have biological children. The news devastated him, and as he struggled with the loss, he chose to continue smoking in secret. Despite being aware of the serious health risks it posed, it wasn't just a simple addiction, it became a painful compromise. The temporary comfort it provided seemed to outweigh the fear of further damage to his body. Unfortunately, this decision came at a great cost. As the years went by, Curtis's health deteriorated. His smoking habit took a serious toll on his heart and lungs, leaving him physically weaker with each passing day. To maintain the secrecy of his vice, he retreated further into isolation, unwilling to let the world see the personal struggle he was enduring. It became one of the most tragic aspects of his life. Despite all the fame and success, he was living with a hidden pain that affected his physical well-being. His battle with addiction and its consequences remained something he faced alone, with few people understanding the full scope of his sacrifices. In the end, this quiet compromise, born out of emotional strain and hardship, became one of the more somber aspects of his otherwise celebrated career. Despite the success and the recognition, Ken Curtis's legacy is also tied to the private battles he fought. Battles that were often overshadowed by his public persona, but nonetheless shaped his life in profound ways. The quiet toll of his health struggles was an enduring part of his story, one that remains largely untold. Later in his life, Ken Curtis found himself increasingly burdened by the emotional weight of his health struggles. Despite his efforts to maintain a public image of vitality and cheerfulness, the toll on his emotional well-being became undeniable. Curtis worked tirelessly to project an energetic persona, yet in the privacy of his own life, he became more and more withdrawn. The emotional toll of his physical decline was something he kept to himself, never fully sharing his health concerns with anyone, not even his closest friends or fans. This secrecy only deepened his sense of isolation. Curtis and his wife, Tori, adopted 2 children during this period, which brought some joy into their lives. Yet, the joy of parenthood did little to alleviate the growing emotional strain Curtis felt, as he kept his struggles hidden from the public eye. He began avoiding social events and public gatherings where his declining health and smoking habit might be noticed. The fear of being seen as weak or frail led him to retreat further into solitude. As his physical condition worsened, Curtis found himself grappling with anxiety that slowly evolved into a quiet, chronic depression. This depression cast a long shadow over his final months. The pressures of maintaining a successful career legacy while hiding his personal battles became overwhelming. Though he never lost his dignity, those closest to him later described a man who was weighed down by sadness. The contrast between the joyful, confident characters he played on screen and the private person he became in his final years was stark and heart-wrenching. Gradually, the strength that had carried Ken Curtis through a lifetime of work and duty began to fade. The man who had once stood firm as the center of his family and career was now weighed down by years of unspoken pain and quiet struggle. His body, worn by time and burdened by responsibility, could no longer hide the toll of arteriosclerosis. The hardening of his arteries narrowed the flow of life itself, while the damage from years of smoking weakened his heart. Yet he refused to let others see the full measure of his suffering. Even as his health declined, he continued to manage every household detail, every financial concern, as if strength alone could hold the world together. Nights grew longer and quieter, and his exhaustion deepened until one final evening brought peace instead of rest. On April 28, 1991, within the stillness of his home in Clovis, California, his heart gave out in sleep, ending the long endurance that had defined him. Later, his ashes were carried to the plains of Colorado, released into the open wind that once echoed with his voice and laughter, a return to the wide country that had shaped his soul and spirit, where the horizon stretched endless and silent, and his memory lingered in the air. Moreover, Ken Curtis left behind far more than a single character or moment on screen. He built a legacy grounded in honesty and the steady rhythm of hard work. Through his role as Festus Hagen, he captured the spirit of the American West with humor, grit, and warmth that made audiences feel as though they knew him personally. Yet his talent stretched far beyond acting. His deep, rich voice carried through the heart of country and Western music, where he shared songs that told stories of open plains, courage, and simple joys. Over the years, he brought life to countless characters on television and film, always with the same quiet commitment that defined his approach to every task. Despite the challenges of fame and his own health battles, he carried himself with humility and strength, never letting personal struggles dim the light of his performances. His steadfast devotion to the Western genre helped preserve a cherished part of American culture, one that valued honesty, loyalty, and the rugged beauty of everyday life. Those who watched him saw not just an actor, but a man who lived his craft with sincerity and care. Today, his work continues to inspire younger artists who admire his ability to make audiences feel grounded, to remind them that even when faced with hardship, grace and dedication can still guide the way. A bronze statue of Ken Curtis as Festus Hagen stands proudly in Clovis, California, paying tribute to a man whose portrayal of the iconic character on Gunsmoke left an indelible mark on television history. The statue is more than just a piece of art. It is a symbol of the warmth, humor, and authenticity Curtis brought to the screen. His portrayal of Festus, a character known for his wit and charm, resonated deeply with fans and became one of the most memorable figures in American television. The statue in Clovis represents the enduring connection between Curtis and his audience, a lasting reminder of how his character reflected the complexities of human nature with such depth and sincerity. Over the years, fans have continued to honor Curtis through various means, including fan conventions, tribute videos, and museum exhibits dedicated to his legacy. His contributions to television, particularly his role as Festus, are celebrated not only for their entertainment value, but also for the genuine warmth Curtis infused into the character. The statue stands as a gathering place for admirers, offering them a chance to reflect on the timeless qualities of his performances. Curtis's life off-screen was marked by humility, passion, and a deep love for his craft, which only added to the respect and admiration he garnered from those who knew him, and from his many fans. The tribute in Clovis serves as a testament to a man whose influence on television and popular culture continues to be felt long after his passing. Through the statue, and the many ways his memory is honored, Ken Curtis's legacy remains alive, forever etched in the hearts of those who remember the joy he brought to the world. The unexpected event that took Ken Curtis's life caught everyone by surprise, shaking those who knew him, and leaving fans in disbelief. Despite his remarkable contributions to television and music, this incident seemed too ordinary to alter the course of his life in such a dramatic way. As time went on, it became apparent that the event set off a chain of events that no one saw coming. The suddenness of the situation made it clear that even those closest to him could not have predicted the outcome. As the truth came to light, it became a painful reminder that life can change in an instant, and sometimes, even the most prepared individuals are left vulnerable to unforeseen circumstances. The legacy Curtis left behind, however, continues to be celebrated by those who admired his work and the joy he brought into their lives. The tragic turn of events will forever be tied to his name, serving as a somber reminder of the fragility of life.